Hey guys, today I'm going to take you on a tour of a house in Brighton, a house in Thornton, so you can get a comparison of what your price is going to get you in both cities. And then I'm going to take you back into the office and I'm going to compare everything you need to know about each of the cities so that you can better identify which one is best for your next home. We're going to talk about location, housing costs, schools, education, shopping and amenities. Guys, we're going to cover it all. So if you're looking to buy in some of the best cities here in Denver Metro, this is going to be one you must watch. Stay tuned. Hi guys, we're here at Ridgeline Vista, one of my favorite neighborhoods here in Brighton, particularly because the builder is Meritage Homes. And guys, let me tell you something about Meritage Homes. I had a client earlier this year. They reached out to me, said, look, Pat, we want to buy a home. We actually ended up touring a neighboring builder and absolutely love it. But we want to meet with you first. And so, upon meeting them, I said, okay, guys, tell me about this house you're in love with. They ended up telling me, and I happen to know the builder, and the builder that they wanted to move forward with was known for, through my 10 years of experience in selling real estate, not the highest quality home. And so I encouraged them. I said, guys, look, I know you love this one, but have you looked at any other builders? And they said, no. And so I said, well, let's get out, go see at least 2 to 3 other builders. There, within 5 minutes of the house they loved, there was 3 other builders. And so we ended up going out, picked a day, went and saw 3 different builders, and Meritage happened to be one of them. Guys, there was no comparison of all 3 builders we looked at. All were similar price, similar square footage and home, but the quality of build Meritage gave was well above any of the other homes we saw. Now my clients have been living there almost 6 months. They absolutely love it. And so that's partially why I picked today's neighborhood for you, to show you how far your money is going to go in terms of the house you purchase here in Brighton, as opposed to Thornton, which will be our next stop up. Here we are, the first stop, the Brighton house. It's getting a little chilly. It's October. We're gonna make somewhat quick work out of this. I don't wanna keep you guys here for longer than we need, but here's the house in Brighton. Now this is the buyer's floor plan. I was gonna show you a different one, but we had to audible. This buyer's floor plan is 3 bed, 2 bath, and you're just under 1,800 square feet. Come on inside, let's take a look. This house is priced at $530,000. So $530,000, you're gonna get a brand new home. And starting here, we've got a den office area. Throw a barn door there and make that into an office. And then here's your open area. So obviously you can see kitchen opens up nicely to this living area. And this is just right off the garage there. And then we've got our 2 bedrooms here with laundry, and then your primary bedroom there. Let's go take a look. So, separate laundry room here. You've got your bathroom here. Now, here's what I love about Meritage. And obviously you guys hear me speaking highly of them, but you've got actual tile in the bathroom, not just a plastic insert. You've got quartz countertops here, along with quartz countertops in the kitchen, upgraded backsplash. You've got cabinet hardware, which is those handles. And then you've got upgraded appliances in a gas stove. Not only that, but you think about space-wise, look at how well they do in maximizing space. And it's the little things like these type of outlets that you're gonna get with Meritage that you're not always going to get at a standard price with some of your other builders. So we've got the 2 bedrooms here. First, second, each have their own closets, decently spacious bedrooms. just steps away from laundry and the bathroom. And then back here, you're going to have your primary bedroom, and then walking into your primary bath. Again, quartz countertops, you've got upgraded tile here, double sinks, and then you're going to have a separate room for the toilet and then a walk-in closet. And then like everyone, I don't know about you, but like most people, maybe it's just me, I want a walk-in closet in my primary bedroom. Meritage does a great job. Every primary bedroom you're gonna walk through, you're likely gonna have a decent size walk-in closet, which I love. And then this house, again, priced at $530. I'll remind you that when we're in Thornton comparing houses. If I can open this door. But with $530 price point, you gotta pay attention to all the things that you're getting with this. This one's got a covered patio, which is nice, an extended poured concrete. Now again, not all builders will do this, and some Meritage homes won't, but guys, for the price and what you get for Meritage, it's just generally unmatched. Most builders you'll see won't do landscaping. Generally they won't do fencing, but this is a corner lot. So Meritage is doing that front wing fence along with the side fence. And it looks like the neighbors might have already put in the back fence here. But typically that's a cost to you. Now, with that, guys, being in Brighton, some of the amenities you're going to get is King Soopers Marketplace. That's going to be from here roughly 5 minutes. I mean, it's super close. And a King Soopers Marketplace, for those of you out of state, King Soopers is like the staple grocery store here in Colorado. And the marketplace is huge. So you have your standard size grocery stores, and then you've got a marketplace. So you definitely are going to enjoy shopping at the marketplace. I do all the time because I live close by, and we do what's called click list. So we just order our groceries on the app, and then when it's ready, they let us know. We go in, we pick up our groceries. They just deliver it to the car, so you don't even have to go in the store. It's amazing. Kind of like Instacart. I think Instacart's more nationally recognized, but King Soopers version is Clicklist. So you're gonna have King Soopers, Prairie Center, which guys, so much going on in Prairie Center. That's also a quick drive away from here. You've got restaurants, groceries, and as the months and years go on, Prairie Center is adding more and more and more. Just recently, we're getting a Raising Cane's. We're getting an Olive Garden. We got a Texas Roadhouse. You've got Target, Hobby Lobby, JCPenney, Dick's Sporting Goods. Guys, I could keep going, but that's the home tour for Brighton. Let's go check out Thornton. All right, guys, we're here in Thornton. It's super windy outside. Let's get in and I'll tell you about this home that we're gonna tour. All right, let me give you a little specs. It's October here. It's really windy. We're in for our first snow here shortly. We're here at Timberleaf in Thornton. Now guys, if you've been a part of the channel for quite some time, you may have seen my North Thornton tour. The link to that is below, where I actually tour this community. D.R. Horton builds a quality build. You guys are gonna love this house. Now, I'm not comparing apples to apples. Unfortunately, the ranch style floor plan they had was only frame stage, and I didn't want to take you through a house tour of a bunch of wood. So we're gonna take a look at the Holcomb model. Now, if you remember, the Brighton house we toured was just about 1,800 square feet. This Holcomb house is 2,400 square feet, quite a bit bigger. They have 4 beds, 2.5 baths. Whereas the Brighton home had 3 bed, 2 bath. But if we were looking at this same type of home in Brighton, price point would have been roughly around that $535 to $550. Whereas here in Thornton, we're at $600K for this home. Come on, let's take a look. As you walk in this floor plan, you've got a den here, which could be turned into, I don't know, flex space, kids playroom, office. But you walk in straight from here into the den, which makes it feel nice and open. And then you've got this hallway here going into utilities here. You've got your powder bath here and a closet off here for storage. Guys, I don't know about you, but we just bought a new house and I underestimated the importance of closet space. Like, to have storage around the house is so important, and I feel like D.R. Horton does a good job of that. You've got granite countertops like Meritage, the gas stove, the backsplash. You've got a decent sized pantry. Generally speaking, believe it or not, fridges don't come with new builds. That's something you can negotiate at times, but typically you're not gonna get a fridge with a new build. This one doesn't have a basement. As you can see here, it's just crawl space. And off the kitchen there, you can go into your 2.5 car garage. But let's go upstairs. I want to show you what we've got up here. Now, base for these floor plans, generally you're going to get this drywall here instead of like an open wrought iron rail. You're going to get carpet through these main areas. I love this floor plan. I sold one of D.R. Horton last year, exact same floor plan, different community. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, and this fourth one is going to be the primary. Super big. I'd say relatively similar square feet in terms of the primary as Meritage homes. And then in this community for D.R. Horton, you're gonna have stone countertops in the sink, which I love. Real tile floors. Depending on which community you're buying in for D.R. Horton, they typically build to price point. Meritage will sometimes do that as well, but for the most part, Meritage Homes is going to come with similar finishes in most of their communities, where D.R. Horton, their finish level will be different depending on which community you're going to. And by finish level, I mean instead of linoleum floors, you're getting actual tile. As you're looking into the laundry room there, you've got bedroom number 1, bedroom number 2. The thing I love about D.R. Horton is their guest closets. It's kind of hard to tell from camera, but like, they're decently big. Like, it's not just that door area, it goes from that to that. Like, the closets are decently big. D.R. Horton, I would say, is historically known for that compared to some builders. Double sinks, toilet, shower, and then walking into your third bedroom here. And a lot of their rooms that actually have a walk-in closet. I think that's great. You just don't get that with a lot of these builders. You're gonna just get the sliding door closets. D.R. Horton does a good job of that. And guys, that's it. That's it for the D.R. Horton floor plan. Neither of these have basements. Now, generally in Brighton, you're gonna be at $600 for basements. And in Thornton, once you get to that $700,000 mark, that's where you're generally gonna get basements. And from what I'm seeing, price points just in these communities, for about the same size house, you're gonna be paying about $50,000 to $100,000 more in Thornton as opposed to Brighton. And this is fairly rare for a new build. They generally don't landscape, but D.R. Horton, of many builders, is the one that will tend to include that in incentives. But guys, you need to know your way around negotiations in order to get some of that stuff included. That's the house, guys. D.R. Horton, Timberleaf here. You guys got a sense of different floor plans. We did a 2-story here in Thornton, a ranch style in Brighton, and I'm super curious what you think. Now, we're gonna go back to the office, and I'm gonna give you the real insight and download into what the difference of Thornton versus Brighton is in terms of amenities in schools and proximity to Denver, and why this house here in Timberleaf is roughly $50,000 more than a similar house in Brighton. Hi guys, welcome back to the office. I hope you enjoyed the home tours. Now we're going to get into some of the data, some of the things about Thornton and Brighton that you might not know about, but it's really going to close in this picture of what it's like living in Brighton versus what it's like living in Thornton, some of the different amenities, the costs, etc. But guys, before we dive in, I just want to say, look, if you're enjoying the channel, please do make sure and subscribe. We've got a new video coming out every week, along with a live video we do on the market updates that you don't want to miss, especially if you're in the market to buy, sell, or invest here in Denver Metro, Colorado. And with that, again, as much as I love doing these videos, I love serving you. So feel free to reach out. My information is on the screen, and I am the one answering text calls, emails. With that, let's dive in. All right, guys, let's dive in. Without further ado, I'm going to show you just a quick map version of Thornton and Brighton so you can orient yourself with where in proximity to Denver. And then I'll actually show you the distance from Thornton to Denver so that you can see kind of what the commute's going to be like for everyday life, work, fun. And so as you're seeing on the screen, this is Thornton, all the red lines. So as you can see, it's quite big. It really is. Now, when I think of Denver Metro, think of and look at this circle. This is called E470, and it's this big circle around Denver Metro. So everything contained within that circle and just outside of that circle, that's Denver Metro. So Thornton is kind of the north central part of Denver Metro and goes all the way to this Highway 36, 76 in I-25 conjunction here. And guys, that's going to get you everywhere you need to go. We're talking DIA, the mountains and ski resorts, Denver to Colorado Springs. It's the connection point to just about anywhere in Colorado. And so as you can see, Thornton, proximity-wise, you're in a really good location. Brighton is also Denver Metro, just outside of E470. And it also has a couple main conjunction points. Highway 85 takes you up to Greeley. I-76 takes you out east, northeast to Fort Morgan. You could hit Wyoming that way, Nebraska, Lake McConaughey, and then it's a very quick shot. And guys, I'm telling you, easy drive going down into Thornton, into Denver, and just about anywhere you need to go. Even the ski resorts, I'm telling you, the I-76 corridor right here very rarely has traffic until you get to more of these congested areas. So even though Brighton might be a little bit of a longer commute to certain places, it's a very easy drive. Now, as you can see, Brighton is much smaller than Thornton, and that's partially why we're going to get into some different price points, amenities, etc. But first off, now that you've oriented yourself, you can see Thornton to Denver, you're in central Denver in about 20 minutes. Now, Thornton, as you know, it's super big. Now that's central Thornton, but even as you get into this kind of eastern to northern part of Thornton, it's still a very quick commute to Denver. I would say any given point in Thornton, you're to central Denver in about 15 to 30 minutes. Now, if we look at Brighton, you're 35 minutes into central Denver, and that's the central point of Brighton. Now, if you're up here on the eastern part, the southern part, you could likely make it to Denver in as little as 25 to 30 minutes, but I would say 25 to 35 minutes. So you can see Thornton is a little bit closer in proximity. It's about 10 miles from downtown Denver, whereas Brighton is 20 miles. Both located in Adams County. And as far as the commute to Denver International Airport, they're fairly close in proximity, about 25, 30 minutes, whether you're living in Brighton or Thornton to DIA. So that's the proximity of Brighton and Thornton. Both, I would say, are fairly close to everything you need. I'm going to give Thornton but I'm going to give the win to Thornton in terms of ease of access and proximity to downtown Denver and most everything in Denver Metro. Now, as you can see on the map, Thornton is bigger than Brighton. Thornton's population is actually 3.5 times Brighton's population, coming in at roughly 140 to 150,000 people, whereas Brighton is 40 to 50,000 people. So much smaller town in Brighton as opposed to Thornton. I'd say the pro of that is you still get that small town community feel. The pace of life in Brighton is much slower than it is in Thornton, but where there is people, there are more amenities. And so as you have more population in Thornton than in Brighton, you're going to have more amenities in Thornton as opposed to Brighton. And I'll show you on the map some of the most notable amenities in Thornton and then in Brighton. All right, so we're on a little bit of a different map view here, but it's a little bit easier to see Denver Metro, Thornton, Brighton, as I walk you through some of these amenities. So Brighton is up here. Here's that E470 line that I told you about, and then we're gonna drop into Thornton here. Now, some of the most notable amenities in Thornton is you've got multiple shopping centers. I could go spend 30 minutes on this, but notably 120th I-25, plenty of food places. You've got Raising Cane's, First Watch, you got Perry's Pizza, and just jumping over I-25, you got even more restaurants here. But as you go up to North Thornton on I-25 and about 136th, you could just see on the map, you've got Denver Premium Outlets here, Orchard Town Center here, which is kind of like an outdoor mall, both of them. And then you've got plenty of places to eat. I mean, guys, if you lived in the middle, right on I-25, and you just pitched a tent and no cars ever came, like you'd probably never leave this little rectangle. You've got all the shopping you need. You've got a Target, you've got grocery, you've got entertainment, and you've got grocery. So right here is one of the most notable spots in Thornton in terms of amenities. Then you have multiple golfing courses. So you've got Rolling Hills at Thorn Creek, and then just over here you have Riverdale Golf Course. And then just over here you have Riverdale Golf Course. I would say in general, Thornton takes the cake in terms of restaurants and overall shopping amenities. You also have Costco, Top Golf, and you've got chicken and pickleball. I've never heard of it. If you have, let me know in the comments how it is, but I've heard great things. And guys, little fact about me, unknown fact about me is I love chicken nuggets or chicken tenders, anything chicken, sign me up. Guys, last thing about Thornton is you've got Trail Winds Park and Open Space. It's virtually a brand new rec center. And then you've got Central Thornton, Carpenter Park. This is kind of the staple of Thornton. And that has also been recently updated over the last 10 years. A gorgeous area. Not only do you have the big rec center here, but you have plenty of fields and park space and even lakes there. So amenity-wise, Thornton has just about everything you need. But as we go to Brighton, don't worry, even though it's smaller, less amenities, you still kind of have everything you need. I like to think of Brighton as a big, small town. Some of the notable areas in Brighton, first off, is Bar Lake State Park. Yes, we're not close to the mountains, but we do have a great nature area. It's about a 9-mile loop around the lake. You can put a fishing boat in. You can do paddle boarding if the water is in good condition. They have a bird observatory. It's a great place to get out and explore nature. We also have bald eagles there, believe it or not. You do have the Oasis Family Park, which is an outdoor water park there. You've got the historic downtown area. Now that's what you're gonna get with Brighton that you might not get with Thornton, is kind of that small town, historic downtown area that really brings the community together. You're talking the Christmas parades, you're talking Harvest Festival, and some of the exciting summer fun activities that Brighton tends to do. A lot of that will occur on Main Street. They actually block it off and everyone piles in the streets and has a great time. And then right here, you've got Brighton Recreation Center, also a great area. I mean, look at all the field space here. You have people fishing at this lake, and then a big rec center that over the years, they've done a really good job in just updating it, and keeping it very well maintained. And then where you're going to go most of the time for restaurants, while they're sprinkled about throughout downtown historic area, along Bridge Street here, as you can see some of these orange indications of restaurants, but you're going to find most of your eating and entertainment up here at the Prairie Center. And guys, I'm so excited. If you can see on this map, you see all this dirt area. One of the great things about Brighton is even though it's well established, it's still somewhat up and coming. You've got a ton of development area here. Most recently, we've had Texas Roadhouse, Red Robin, Freddy's, along with a couple other restaurants and good eats coming to the Prairie Center. But most recently, we're going to have a Raising Cane's in this corner area. We've got an In-N-Out Burger coming right here and an Olive Garden. All are being built as we speak. And so by the time maybe you watch this video, it's likely they've already been built. And then you've got all the rest of this track to be built and provide all that much more good eats, grocery, shopping, and entertainment area. So guys, even though Brighton might not have as many amenities as Thornton, we still do have quite a bit of amenities. And golf courses, you've got Todd Creek Golf Club here within a quick distance, Riverdale, Buffalo Run, and then you can go north to Coyote Creek. Plenty of golf, plenty of golf and other fun things to do in and around Brighton. Now, last up is school information, some real estate data, and then my take on Brighton and Thornton before we wrap up. Going over to greatschools.org, I typed in Adams 12 School District, which is essentially Thornton, Colorado, and then 27J, which is essentially Brighton. While they'll have schools in other cities, the bulk of their schools are going to be in Thornton, which is Adams 12, and Brighton, which is 27J. Now, if we look at schools, greatschools.org, I'm solely speaking off of data, fair housing rules. I can't really talk much about schools, but I can just state the facts. On this website, if we're looking at Adams 12, on this website, if we're looking at school district 27J, you can see it says this district has a large number of schools whose students are making less academic progress than peers at other schools in the state. Look, I encourage you to do your own research. I actually grew up in Brighton in the school districts and really enjoyed my time. My kids go here to school in Brighton, Colorado. But here's the data based off of greatschools.org. And if we go to Adams 12 School District, you're going to look at the same data, and it said students at many of the schools in the districts are making about the same academic progress as the state average. So in regard to this specific data on greatschools.org, Adams 12 School District is slightly ranking better than 27J. But guys, again, I encourage you to do your own research. And I found when looking at schools for my kid, you got to go in the schools. You got to go see who the principal is, how they do things around there. And that's really going to give you your best gauge at whether the school's right for you or not. But I'll leave that research up to you guys. Last thing I want to touch on here is just some statistics about the real estate market. And if we're looking at the median price in Thornton, on the left side of the screen, you've got $567,000, but the median price for new listings is $642,000. Whereas in Brighton, on the right-hand side of my screen, we've got $540,000 being the median price and $537,000 for the median price of new listings. As you guys can see, Thornton is priced a bit higher than Brighton, mainly due to the proximity to Denver, the amount of amenities you get in Thornton. Guys, that's it for the data, the proximity, the amenities, showing you around the websites. Ultimately, here are my key takeaways. Guys, Brighton is generally more affordable overall than Thornton. Thornton has higher costs, but on the amenity side, it is going to be a step above Brighton. But in general, both cities are more affordable than Denver proper. These are two of my favorite suburbs because your money is going to go further in both of them. While it might go a little bit more and buy you more of a house in Brighton than Thornton, you really have to make the decision, what's more important to you? A bigger and maybe better house for less money? Or would you maybe spend more for that same house to have the types of amenities and proximity that you will get in Thornton? There's the only other takeaway I would have here is Brighton is going to be much slower pace of life. It's going to give you more of a community feel. It's a smaller town, and with smaller towns, you just have more of a sense of community. Whereas Thornton, it's much more highly populated, much more density. Your sense of community will likely be more in your neighborhood than it will be as a city. But I know there's plenty of great neighborhoods around Thornton that have that sense of community if you're looking for it, or if you'd rather go to maybe more of a rural, slower pace of life, less dense, less populated area, you're going to want to look in Brighton. Regardless, I encourage look at both markets. They have different houses, different products, and different things, as you can tell throughout this video, to offer somebody who is buying and living in Brighton and Thornton, Colorado. Guys, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you today. I want to know what city is your favorite city down below in the comments, and or if you want more information on some cities we haven't covered in this channel yet, please post them down below, and we'll make sure to get some content and videos out there so that you can learn more about living here in Colorado. And as always, guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We have new content coming to you every week. Appreciate your time, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.